Namaskaram. One of the major subject as optional opted by most of the students for civil service is sociology. So when you look at sociology, one of the basic question which somebody has to understand, or maybe some of the basic concept somebody has to understand to answer some of the basic question is, how is it related, how is it different from other social sciences? Is sociology a general topic which the whole world can cover? Is it sociology different in different geographical parts of the world? When you look at sociology, it is something to do with the society in a very common layman's point of view. Understand, sociology in India itself differs from north to south to east to west. It's a large country. But let us look at least in the UPSC context. Don't refer something which is told by the Westerners, Europeans. Look at what India sociology is. When you look at India sociology as a country, closely related to social sciences, common area of study is research methodology with a very theoretical framework with the disciplines of anthropology, political science, economics, psychology, and history, probably. Good enough. There are many other disciplines which probably will relate to sociology. I have interest in the subject complementing with the understanding of the subject based on human behavior. Therefore, every subject knowledge around this subject is related to sociology. Now let us look at anthropology per se. Anthropology and sociology is very closely related because the life around the society, talking for a change, is what is anthropology. Similarly, the human life, the cultural practices, languages, the biodiversity, everything is part of sociology as well as for anthropology. But the structure, institution, social inequality, social change within the society is what is generally seen by sociology, not as a human development. So anthropology is as a human society, culture and social relationship. But here, sociology is something to do with the societal aspects of life, not as a human evolution. That is where it is slightly different. Now talk about the political science. The political science, interest in the power, relationship with the government, the political process in which the government is being selected, the political system and the society. Therefore, definitely sociology have got a factor which shapes politics. So it is the base. Sociology is the base for the political science. So when you go deeper into political science, you must understand the sociology. So the formal structure of politics, the institutionalized politics, the process of political system, All that is political science. But deeper into that, the base on which all this can be understood well is sociology. In terms of economics, probably one of the subject which relates to sociology and psychology, and how people are ready to make life more comfortable, how is the development happens. It's also a culture, it's also a psychology, it's also a character, it's also a behavior. The different prospectus of economics based on the production, distribution, consumption, the services, all this is what is part of economics. Employability, the quality of employment, methods and models in which money can be distributed. So what is the social factor behind it? As a psychology, as a culture, how do the process of interaction between the social classes, equality and inequality, the labor and the master, how is the consequence of this affects the economics, can be the relation and can be the distinction between these two subjects. Now when it comes to psychology, sociology and psychology have both human behavior as a study, but from the look at differences, understanding the inner emotions, the mental process is what is psychology. How it affects the behavior within the social structure or between the intrapersonal relationships, the norms, the institution based society, how is it incorporating the psychological insights, understanding of what is around you, so that your behavior can be accordingly modified. So it has got a vis-a-vis A to B to B to A relationship sort of a thing for psychology and sociology. So if you want to understand psychology, you should understand sociology. If you want to understand sociology, you must understand psychology. So it's very specific to the geography, region, economics, the culture, the economics, the history, everything is part of it. Now let us come to history. It's actually, there is a lot of overlapping between sociology and history. The social change over a long time is called history. So therefore, history is a bigger topic, and for a specific period, events, the narratives, the social space, and how the sociology impacts, or how history impacted the social behavior of today, both way. The trend of society, the movements which happened, and how that trauma or maybe the happiness is being carried by the society today from the past. The societal factors, what are the contradictions in the historical processes. This becomes a complementary subject to each other. So study of societies is sociology. The transformations which happens over a period of time, if you want to study, you will have to study the history so that you can understand sociology much better. So in India, these social sciences have got a great influence on each other. It's like an interdisciplinary within the social phenomena, social process. And if you don't understand this, multiple disciplines, you cannot understand or create a comprehensive, comparative, or maybe differences to analyze address the social issues in the Indian context. There are great people in Indian sociology. You don't have to refer people from abroad. Whenever somebody send me some essay for analysis of the writing in sociology, most of the time I see they refer to Howard and maybe Emily. They're all Western people. I don't know why. We have got a lot of people who, you look at this literature, what's available. We have got great people like Srinivas. We had a beautiful department in Bombay University, one of the most pioneers in social science. In sociology was given a lot of importance. That is why in the administrative UPSC system and all that, sociology has gained a lot of interest. When India gives that much interest in sociology for a competitive exam, if you don't know the names of at least a few people and the quotations and the remarkable contributions made by those legends in history of Indian sociology, like Veena Das, maybe Divankar Gupta, and who else? Yeah, Shiva Vasudev, Nandini Sundar, and so many other people are there. I think you should look at those who are appearing for UPSC, must look at those people and the contributions and the writings. There are a lot of literature available around them. And third part is when you write an essay, when you write an article, what are all the terms you have to be, or the format in which you must look at. One is the focus. What is that you are focusing? Assume somebody asks you the difference. That doesn't mean there is only difference. There can be a relationship also. Maybe you can discuss relationship and then come back to differences. If somebody asks you relationship, it is not one and the same. It's called two different names. So nothing wrong in identifying the relationship and focus on something, but you can, when you are asked to draw a flower, you don't just draw the flower. You'll also draw the stem and then few leaves, right? The essay is always like that. It's not a one-word answer. And look at the methodology in which a subject research happens. What are the theoretical frameworks in which you'd have to build it up? What are the overlapping areas? What are the interdisciplinary relationship and collaboration and differences? What is uniqueness in the subject different from the other one? So what are the approaches? What are the emphasis? Therefore, if you understand this is the framework in which I have to write, you will always become focused on sociology. But you will also understand the interactions of other subjects and social changes. And you will know the values, the patterns, the behaviors, the border areas, the context in which you are discussing. See, for example, when you talk about economics, production, primary focus will not be on social structure. It will be on production, distribution, the goods and the services, the money making process. But immediately say that there is a system in which the society reacts to that. See, for example, when we learn technology management, we talk about the Ford paying per hour salary for people who has to work like a machine. They don't even have time to remove their sweat from the forehead. You have to work like a machine. The sociology aspect was not there. But the technology management did not sustain because the sociology aspect came. The production, goods, service, money making, everything, government told that no, you have to look after the people. You cannot make them to work like a mission. So the relationship between the government and the people played a great role. The political science came. So economics got affected. Probably sociology has gained its way. So these are all interrelated subjects. The wide range of research which happens in sociology has to include all these different examples, initiatives, observations, case studies. Understand, you have to understand the matter of fact, facts and figures. Just some words are not enough. You need to have some statistical surveys, examples, methodology which you can use in social science. Then I am sure whatever you write will have a authority. You have to create examples. You have to quote examples. You have to discuss about what had happened some time back. When you talk about the theoretical part of the structure, function, the conflict between people, the interaction, the differences, the harmony. How is that area of study of sociology takes care of behavior, economics, political science, and how interdisciplinary connections between all of them distinctly contributed in understanding the subject is what is to be clearly brought out. If you do this, I'm sure the note will become really beautiful and you will realize what you have done is a great contribution. Don't write it like a examination. You have to write as if you are a researcher. A problem is given to you and then you are addressing a complex issue, a social issue, which is in your mind, which has got some importance, and you are giving a holistic understanding to give a suggestion for a problem which is in front of you. Don't just write it like a examination for a question and answer is given. You must understand it's a discipline, it's a very fluid, which cannot be distinct. That way every subject has got relationship with the other subjects. Understand all these science contributing to each other. You are not an advocate for some subject and the other party is on the other side and then you are trying to argue and say that your subject is important. How is it different? Different means there can be a comparison between them and say this is that contribution, this is what is the contribution. So you don't have to write it in a table saying this is X, this is Y, this is low, this is high, this is great, this is not great. That sort of a comparison is not what is expected in any social science, even in basic science also. Okay, so this is what I wanted to give as a guideline for people who wanted to write about sociology and relationship and differences and collaboration and comprehension, understanding the fluid structure of each and every subject relation to each other on very specific to sociology as a subject. Namaskaram and thank you. God bless you. All the best.